Welcome back to this edition of the Eagle Sports Coaches Show. Last segment of our last show before the holidays, and Sean Wood has joined us. And Coach, split the games over the past week. Got a big win on Saturday.
Yeah, that was big for us. We were going in a little slump a little bit. Just hadn't been shooting the ball well, and we finally shot the ball particularly well, which allowed us to get into our pressure defense. And I was making a statement and still going to make statements with some of these guys. I went all the way to the deep end of the bench and picked out Jordan Stigler to come out and play 21 minutes to beat Indiana State. So that's the beauty of our situation, of having a lot of guys is when something's not going right, you just go down to the bottom of the well as far as you can. And we were able to go to the bottom, and when we went to the bottom, we got something pretty good, and George Stickler came out. His numbers doesn't show it, but the energy and effort that he brought kind of was contagious to everybody else on the basketball team.
Well, if you're on the bench and know the fact that you have to be ready at all times, you better prepare yourself when you're on the practice on the practice floor, because you never know when you're going to turn around and say, you're in there.
Exactly, and that was the beauty of that situation. And Milton Chavis kind of got the message a little bit, came in, gave us 15 points. Mo Briggs, the same thing. So, and Jason Holmes finally came to play a little bit and gave us 8 points and 8 rebounds. So, as long as we can continue to get that, and I thought Chad didn't do a bad job in that starting role. So, it's starting to come, but we're still not there yet. But it's still a work in progress. But I like what we're going right now, and I like the vibe in our locker room.
I don't know that I think you were disappointed on Wednesday night, the fact that the effort might not have been there. I mean, and that's one thing that you pride yourself on, is the fact that when you play the type of defense that turns into your offense, if you're not playing hard defensively, then you're not turning it into offense.
No doubt about it. And we weren't getting that, and we were just flat. And our whole attitude and morale of our team was bad that day. But I went down to the bottom of the well and got some young guys that was going to play hard, and we came back and cut it to like 8 or 9 or something like that. Just couldn't have enough to win the basketball game. But that was a telling story of our basketball team that, hey, it's time to make some changes to wake some people up, and we're going to continue to do that.
I think, right now that this is going to be a crucial part. The fact that, number one, you're going to have the Christmas break.
Mm-hmm.
They're not that 20-hour rule.
No.
The fact that the players who are getting to know you, your system, how you expect them, this will be a good period of time for Sean Woods and the basketball program here at Morehead State.
No doubt about it, because there'll be a lot of practice. We don't have a 20-hour rule, and this is when you get better. You kind of, you get better to the things that you want to do well, and then you work on some of the things that you don't do well. Then you try to put it together, for conference play.
So how will you treat this Christmas break? I mean, I don't know how you did it at Mississippi Valley State. Was it a couple practices a day, morning?
We're
gonna
go. We're gonna do some two-a-days, no doubt about it. We still got some games over the Christmas break though too, so we got to be careful with some things. But when the time allows, we'll go two-a-days to work on defense in the morning and our offensive stuff in the afternoon. But the main thing is, right now what we're doing finals week is really just working on their individual improvement, getting a lot of shots up, working on ball handling. Sean Williamson, our strength and conditioning coach, is really keying in on some things, lateral movement, quickness, strength, so we can put this thing all together.
I remember when you were playing at Kentucky during this period, Coach Pitino always stressed individual time when you had the finals week, because it's hard to stagger everybody together because everybody's taking their finals at different times.
Exactly. So right now that I came over here from an individual workout. We have 3 or 4 of them a day. So this is their time to get better, but they still got to study for their finals and things like that. So we don't want to put too much on them. This is their time to actually get their academics in order, and in the meantime really stay fit, but working on their individual games.
Sean Woods is our guest, Eagle Sports Coaches Show. As Sean mentioned, you're still playing. Got a game on the 19th. you get to travel to the warm place of South Dakota in December. You know, that was a leftover game, wasn't it, Coach?
Yeah, I would never do that. We'll never do that again as long as I'm here. I'll tell you that.
You got back-to-back games.
Yeah, I woke up the other morning watching the Today Show, and the first thing I heard was North Dakota.
Yeah.
And I look on the TV, and I'm doing like this, and there's nothing but white.
Yeah.
You know, and cars, you know, slide. I'm like, oh Lord, we got to go here next week. So we just got to go there, and you know, hopefully we can play much better than we did when they came here. And then also we got South Dakota too. So go there and continue to get better. And if we just play with the energy that we played with the other night and continue to shoot the ball well, we're going to get better. But we got to shoot the ball much better than what we have been, except for the Indiana State game.
So if I'm predicting the schedules in the upcoming years, around Christmas or New Year's, we might be going to a warm place?
No doubt about it.
Okay.
Even Thanksgiving next year.
Yeah, I'm all for that. We don't need to be the Parka team.
No.
If we can go out west a little bit, or down Miami way, whatever. We can go out. We can play.
No doubt about it. Or we'll just stay home.
Yeah, that's true. That'd be good. Spend some time with family.
No doubt about it.
But South Dakota on December 19th, and then North Dakota State and Fargo on the 21st. You know, Coach, I'm sorry. I have a women's game that night here on the 21st.
So you got an excuse.
I can't make it to Fargo. You know, I already had bought a parka. I'd looked at a parka, and it fit me. It was like a third world country, though. You know, it's big a little bit. But I can't go.
I see. I bet you're very, very upset about that.
I'll feel your pain, though.
How much sleep did you lose when you found out?
I haven't.
I bet you haven't.
But let's talk a little bit about your first signee coming up, a player that you knew, a player that with all the hubbub a couple weeks ago came out pretty strongly defending you in a couple articles, the fact that he had known you, and as a coach, you get to bring him to Morehead State.
Well, he's Luka Petrovic, and him and Brent are big-time buddies. They were freshmen last year on our team when we made that run, and he's a big-time scorer. He's at Brevard Junior College right now. Coach Howard just went to see him this past weekend, saw a couple games, and he had like 18 one game, and then the night before Coach Howard left, he had 28. Can really, really shoot the basketball, great body, can get to the rim, an offensive jewel, knows me, knows exactly what we want. And tough kid, you know, from Israel, real tough. You can get in him. He's a monster of a mentality, but great kid off the court, great student, a kid that I like to coach, and he's going to be a great addition to our team next year.
You know, I was watching practice the other day before the women played Western on Thursday, and some of the young men who are setting out this year were giving your people that were in there run for their money. I kind of like the fact that you've got a couple of players. The young man, and it escapes me, I think from UNLV was
Karam Ashur.
Yeah, he was really playing hard and was showing his talent. I was impressed with the people we got.
I mean, the future looks great for us, and we just got to continue to bring in guys like that, great character guys, but are tough mentally, that are winners. That's the only type of guy. Everybody can't play at Morehead State University. You know, if you're not trying to overachieve and you know, get to a Sweet 16 type caliber situation, then this isn't the place for you. You know, if you don't want to be great and don't want to be a pro and don't want to get a great education, Morehead's not the place for you. So when we bring in a kid, that kid's going to fit that bill.
4 games left before we start the Ohio Valley Conference schedule. You have 2 on the road, and then Southern Mississippi comes here, and Union College will also come here on December 30th. What do you want to see from your team in the last 4 non-conference games? Continue
improvement, more fluent in our offense, continue to take advantage of, score more from our defense. We're turning people over, but we're not scoring like I want to off the turnovers. Got to get better at that, and we got to continue to get better defensively, keeping the ball in front, making teams take tough shots. I thought that was the key to Indiana State. We just got after them. They didn't have an easy look, and we limited them to 1 rebound. We out-rebounded them, and we just got to keep this thing going and continue. Our depth has got to continue to get better. You know, our bench is outscoring people. Like we outscored Indiana State, I think 40-11 or 40-6 or something like that. We got to keep that going.
41-6.
41-6.
Pretty nice.
Yeah.
Well, let's get this over with before we get away. The next home game will be a big home game for the fans of Morehead State University because Coach Tyndall will be coming back in. I know you have a lot of respect for Coach Tyndall, but it's also going to be a critical game for your ball club.
Well, every game's critical.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just Southern Miss. You know, the excitement of Donnie coming back, you know, I let everybody else enjoy that. It's just us playing against Southern Miss. We're going to, you know, prepare just like we prepare for anyone else. It'll be a lot of emotion going in, especially for the current players on our team who played for them last year. So, you know, we're just going to try to simplify it as much as we did, just like we did downplay, just like we did Kentucky and other places. So it'll be a typical game in my mind. Yeah. Just the fans, because Donnie, you know, coached here and he's got a lot of friends and people know him and things like that. But I'm not boosting that up no more than I'm boosting up any other game. That's
pretty good. I think that's the right thing to take. I know that the fact that, you know, you respect Coach Tyndall a lot, what he did here, but it's your program now. And,
right.
And you have to kind of say, okay, thanks for being here when you were, but now
right.
It's yours.
It's mine, and he's the head coach at Southern Miss. And Southern Miss don't care nothing about Morehead, and I don't think Morehead should be caring anything about Southern Miss, you know. So he's the head man there, and I'm the head man here. And just so happen we have to play each other, and you know, we're going to lace them up just like they are and see what happens.
Need a good crowd on hand for that. Of course, that's the next home game for Morehead State on December 28th, and then the 30th, Sunday afternoon, they'll host Union College here at Johnson Arena. Sean, appreciate it always.
No doubt about it.
You're not going to sing for us like Hodges? No, okay. He won't sing for us. Maybe next time. We'll be back with you after the first of the year here on the Eagles Sports Coaches Show. Have a good holiday.
You too.
For Sean Woods and Lindsey Olson.
And you're more than welcome to come to South Dakota.
Oh, doggone it. I'll have to try to work in my schedule. And our producer back at the radio side, Ian Corbin. Until next time, I'm Jason Blanton. So long, everybody.